meeting, court come to order.
Are you ready for the jury, please?
All rise for the jury.
Please be seated. Will the fourth person please stand? Have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Was it unanimous?
Yes, it was, Your Honor.
Has the verdict been filled in, signed, and dated by you?
It has been, Your Honor.
Please publish the verdict by reading it in open court.
For Gary Bradford, count 1. Participation in a criminal street gang activity. We, the jury, find the defendant, Gary Bradford, guilty. Count 2. Conspiracy to commit a crime, murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Gary Bradford, guilty. Count 3. Murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Gary Bradford, not guilty. Count 4. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Gary Bradford, not guilty. Count 6. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We, the jury, find the defendant, Gary Bradford, not guilty. Count 7. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. We, the jury, find the defendant, Gary Bradford, not guilty. Maurice Connor. Count 1. Participation in criminal street gang activity. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, guilty. Count 2. Conspiracy to commit a crime, murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, guilty. Count 3. Murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, not guilty. Count 4. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, not guilty. Felony murder, second charge. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, not guilty. Count 6. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, not guilty. Count 7. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, not guilty. Count 8. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. We, the jury, find the defendant, Maurice Connor, guilty. DeAndre Washington. Count 1. Participation in a criminal street gang activity. We, the jury, find the defendant, DeAndre Washington, guilty. Count 2. Conspiracy to commit a crime, murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, DeAndre Washington, guilty. Count 3. Murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, DeAndre Washington, guilty. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, DeAndre Washington, guilty. Count 6. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. We, the jury, find the defendant, DeAndre Washington, guilty. Count 7. Possession of a firearm during a commission of a felony. We, the jury, find the defendant, DeAndre Washington, guilty.
See the verdict, please. Thank you, sir. You may be seated. Please show that to the attorneys. Counsel, this time I would ask you to state for the record any objection you might have to the form or legality of the verdict.
Nothing on behalf of the state, Judge.
Judge, no objection to the form or legality. We would ask to poll the jury.
Nothing on behalf of Maurice Connor. Who would request the jury to poll?
Ma'am, will you please stand? Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes, it was.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
It was.
Is it still your verdict,
Yes.
sir? Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
It was.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
It was.
Is it still your verdict?
It is.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes, sir.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you?
Yes.
Is it still your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Was that your verdict in the jury room? Was it freely and voluntarily made by you? Is it still your verdict? Ma'am. Was that your verdict in the jury room?
Yes, sir.
Was it freely and voluntarily made by you? Is it still your verdict?
Yes.
Please be seated. Is there any reason why I cannot release this jury and excuse them from the official performance of their duties?
Not on behalf of the state, Judge.
Judge, we see no reason you can't excuse them. If the jurors would want to stick around, speak to the attorneys, I know we find that very helpful to learn from jurors about the case and what their feelings are. And I know it's Labor Day Friday, so we never, this is merely a request, but if anyone feels comfortable to do that, we would definitely welcome the opportunity to speak for a few minutes about your thoughts on this case. But otherwise, no, sir.
Nothing for Maurice Connor, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are hereby officially discharged from your duties with the thanks and gratitude of the court. Does anybody wish to address the court on behalf of the family?
Yes, Your Honor.
We can do that.
Are we doing that now?
Yes.
In regards to the sentence, I'm going to request on behalf of Mr. Washington, that we set another court for sentence.
And Judge, Mr. Wolf is on his way back from Fulton County ready to handle an urgent matter. I know he's probably an hour away. There are a few matters we would like to have the court wait for his presence to deal with, because I know that they are important. I think sentencing is one of those, to delay it to another day or deal with it.
All right, I'll set it for another day. But is there somebody that wants to address the court that's here today?
I mean, the family's here, they do want to address the court, and if to the extent that we can have a sentencing this afternoon to accommodate all the parties, I don't mind a little delay, but at this point, I mean, the family is here, and they would like to address the court.
And Judge, they are from Louisiana, so they would have to return back to our state for the sentencing. So the state is requesting that we proceed with sentencing this afternoon.
At least we can wait till Mr. Wolf arrives, Judge. I would
All right.
appreciate that.
All right, we'll proceed to that. All right, does anybody wish to address the court?
If we could just wait, if we do it all.
And
We could just do it all at one time, Judge.
And Judge, we'll reserve a motion to set aside and a motion for superseding spot also for Mr. Wolf's presence when he gets here.
You know where he is and when he'll be here?
He should be here around 2 p.m. Your Honor, is coming from Ringgold, Georgia.
And hopefully a little bit earlier.
And I'll be in touch with him in case you need.
Well, can we get started in hearing from the family? Let's start
Yes,
that. All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Rushing, and I am a victim advocate with the DA's office. I am reading this on behalf of Bridget Bryant, who's the aunt of Melvin Burnett. 3 little girls, Kennedy, Brooklyn, and London, ages 4, 3, and 2, a mother, a father, 3 brothers, 3 sisters, 1 aunt, 2 grandmothers, and a host of family members and friends will never, ever see or hear the love of Melvin Phat Burnett III ever again. Because of a group who do not value life and decided to plot to take the life of my nephew. They decided that because they thought he had stole some drugs from him, that they would teach him a lesson. They didn't care that his 3rd-born child, London, would come into this world 3 months premature, stayed in the hospital for 3 months fighting for her life. Phat never got to see her. These men took his life on the very day that his girlfriend lay in a hospital bed fighting for her life of their unborn child, who would later be called London. These men took Phat's life on the day that he told his 2-year-old baby girl that he was going to bring her some candy and would be right back, and he never came home. He will never get to see her start pre-K. She can never come home and say how her day went to her father. These men took Phat's life knowing that he could never walk Kennedy, Brooklyn, or London down the aisle on their wedding day, or hear them say, "I love you," and get a response back, "I love you too." These men took Phat's life from a father who loved him and cared for him, and who was his best friend. A father who would never ever get to see his son grow up into the man that he was. A father who would give his life just to see him live again. A father who weeps in the wee hours of the morning for his son. A child is supposed to bury a parent, not the other way around. These men took Phat's life from a mother who loved him, prayed for him, comforted him. A mother who would never get to see the beautiful life, a mother who would never get to see the beautiful life brought into this world again. Her whole heart is broken. These men took from his brothers a bond that brothers have. Brothers ranging in the ages from 4 to 23 years old. The 4-year-old thinks that his brother is still in a recording studio. The 23-year-old could not see him when he was laid to rest. Another is so saddened by his death he couldn't call or talk to him again. His sisters are hurt too. These men took a life from 2 grandmothers who loved him and cared for him. These men took a life from an aunt who loved and cared for him like he was one of her own, who would say, "T. Bridget, I know you always have my back." These men, Grizz, Red, Manny, Connor, Washington, took a life for my family. My family does not have a body breathing life to talk to or to love on or to laugh with. Instead, we visit a wall where his body lays, riddled with bullet holes, embalmed, cold in a box inside a wall. While these men are breathing, living, and being loved on, my nephew is dead. How is that fair? On behalf of the family who have endured such great pain, we feel that these men should be punished to the greatest extent possible. Thank you.
On behalf of Michelle Long, mother. Your Honor, juries, and to the District Attorney's Office that has worked this case on behalf of me and my family, I would like to thank the whole team for doing a wonderful job. On June 7, 2012, my son was taken from me. I still can't make any sense of it. All I feel that it was a cruel and cowardly act. He was the most beautiful, sweetest person you would have ever wanted to meet. I miss his smiling face so much that you can't even imagine. Nothing could even replace him. This has been so mad for me as his mother to deal with. I don't think my pain will ever go away. He had lots of family and lots of love, but no one can imagine a mother's love. So again, I thank everyone who has worked so hard, day and night, in my son's case. I cried and prayed for things to be revealed, and by the grace of God, it has. I wanted justice for my son because he did not deserve to die. For the past 2 years, I've been holding on to God's hand, waiting for this day that the persons involved would be caught and prosecuted.